Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Keeper Greebrew. Today we'll be doing 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 to 16. So I'll read the Greek first, and then we can begin. Dio anazosamenoi tas osfuas tes dianoias humon nephontes teleios elpisate epi ten pheromenen humin karin in Apocalypse Jesu Christou hos techna hypakoes me syschematizomenoi tais proteron in te agnoia humon epitumiais ala kata ton kalesanta humas hagion kai autoi hagioi in passe anastrophe genetete dioti gegraptai hagioi geneste hoti ego hagioisemi. Okay, so first we'll start with verse 13. So we have dio. Here we see that it means therefore. And we can contrast this with the DOT in verse 16 first, which means because, but sometimes it can also mean therefore, but they are very similar. So you can just remember these two as a pair. And then we have anazosamenoi, which is the word anazonumi. So here we have a special me verb, and we can see that it is also in the middle tense. And that's usually some weird stuff happens with me verbs. And so here's one of the weird stuff that's going on, and it means to gird up. And you can see usually when you hear girding up something, usually we hear the phrase girding up one's loins. So that is exactly what follows. So tas osfuas, so girding up your waist. And here this is taken together as a phrase to mean to prepare. So you can see it as preparing tas osfuas, the waist of something. So here we have a genitive. The genitive tes dianoias, which, as you remember, it means it means the mind. So as you prepare your minds, anazosamenoi, gird the loins, gird the waist, tasos fuas, of your minds. So this is a very special expression that you can remember for future reference. Then we have nephontes, which means self-controlled or being sober. Here we see that it is in the present active. It is a participle. So you can see the ontes ending, which is usually is the present active participle ending. And then we have s, which usually is the masculine plural or feminine plural ending for nominative. So nephontes, teleios, which is an adverb. You can see it because of the omega sigma. Here it means completely, perfectly. So if you know the word telos, it's usually related to this tele stem, usually is related to this telos kind of meaning. Kind of means the end of something. So if something reaches its end, it reaches its goal, then it is perfected. So we can say that it is completely something. And then we have elpisate. So completely hope, This is in the second person plural. It's an aorist. You completely hope. Epi ten pheromenen. You hope in the pheromenen, which comes from phero, which is something that was brought. It is in the participle. So something that was brought, humin, brought to you all. And what is that thing? It is iskarim. So here we see by case agreement that this is the grace that was brought to you. This is a whole phrasal noun. In Apocalypse, in the Revelation, this is a very common word that you should probably memorize. Apocalypse, Jesu Christu, in the revelation of Jesus Christ. And then we go on to verse 14. Hos tekna hupakoes. So as children and children of obedience, because this is in a genitive, and usually when we see this, we can also translate it as obedient children. So this kind of genitive modifies it. It is an attributive genitive that attributes the quality of obedience to the children. As obedient children, pe suskematizomenoi. Suskematizomenoi is the mixture of sun and schematizomenoi. Here we can see that it is translated to conform to. So here, but this is also a participle, and so this is not a verb itself, or it's not a finite verb in the sentence. So usually we would have to interpret it as borrowing the hosts, or we would have to interpret this mes kusimatizomenoi as not being conforming to, and we see that it is conforming to tais epithemiais. It is conforming to the desires, and we see what kind of desire it is. We see proteron. First, we have an adverb. So the desire that was formerly or firstly, enteagnoia, in the minds of you all, in all your minds. Enteagnoia, agnoia being the conjunction of a and noia. So means the lack of or the negation of, and noia means the mind or the knowledge. So the lack of knowledge, in the ignorance, enteagnoia humon, in your ignorance. So conforming to the desires of your conforming to the desires in your ignorance. Ala kataton kale santa. But according to ton kale santa, to that which called you, kale santa humas, which called you all, hagion, holy, as an adjective. Here we see that they do not have, the sentence does not have a verb. The verb is implied as to be verb. So, but just as, or according to, he who called you is holy. Kai autoi, so too you yourselves. Well, here it says yourself or oneself in the plural, but the you is implied. So kai autoi hagioi, you yourselves must be holy, or you yourselves should become holy. Genetete. Become holy, how? In passe anastrophe, in all your ways, or in all your life. Okay, so we see that anastrophe means way of life, or lifestyle, as you can see below. And then finally, we have dioti gigraptai. So here we have because it is written gigraptai. So this is pretty common. It is written gigraptai hagioi geneste. Hagioi meaning plural, well, meaning holy in the plural. So here we have an adjective saying that who must be holy? You must be holy. This is a imperative in the plural. Geneste, you must become or you must be holy. And this is a very recognizable phrase. Hoti, because ego. So here we have the ego stressed here. Because ego, hagiois emi, because I am holy. So here we have the echo in the Old Testament of God speaking to his people, saying that you must be holy because I am holy. And this is written in the Old Testament and is reminded here in 1 Peter. Okay, so here we see that, okay, first let me summon up the translation. Okay, so we have the translation here. Therefore, preparing your minds for action. So we have girding the loins of your minds. And for action is kind of added into there. And being sober-minded. Nephontes. So we have a participle. Set your hope fully on the grace. So teleois. Completely set your hope or fully set your hope. Epites pheromenen, the grace that was brought to you. In Apocalypse Jesu Christo, in the revelation of Jesus Christ. Postekna hypakoes, as children of obedience or obedient children, do not be conformed. Me skyskematizomenoi. This is a very long word. Do not be conformed to the passions, epithemiais. Epithemia means passion, of your former ignorance, or the passions of your ignorance formerly. Allah, but kata, as he who called you is holy. So here we have this participle as a substantive. Humas, he who called you, as a substantive, is holy, and the verb to be is implied. Kai, so too, you yourself shall be holy in all that you do, or in all your conduct. Okay, it's translated as conduct. And here we have the to be verb or the becoming verb here, just for the second person plural. So that means the verb here, the third person singular, has to be implied here. And then dioti gigraptai, since it is written, hagioi, you shall be holy, or be holy, because I am holy, or for I am holy. Okay, so here Peter is writing to the church, telling them that right now that they realize that they are saved by Jesus Christ, which he mentioned before. He mentions that they are saved, but that does not mean they get a kind of like a free pass card or something to do whatever they want or to act however they want, as they are as saved people on earth. In contrast, they are to prepare their minds for action. They are also to be sober-minded. So they have to, they are to, as children of God, they must desire to be holy, to be conformed, to obey the law of God. Here we see as obedient children, and not be conformed to the passions of their former ignorance, which they were formerly ignorant before they knew the law and knew the revelation of Jesus Christ. And they are called by he who called them to be holy, and they are also to be holy in all their conduct. So the God that called them is holy, And because they are obedient children and they are saved children, and as saved children, they are obedient to God, they are also to be holy in what they do. And this, he has the Old Testament to back him up, saying that it is written, "You shall be holy, for I am holy." So we can see that Peter is addressing the church, but this church, formerly being of Jewish people, they are reminded of their past, which we will see later, but that they remember their horrible past, that they called upon themselves because of their disobedience to God. So he is now reminding them to be obedient to God, and that the revelation of Jesus Christ actually enforces this fact, or actually encourages their obedience. As they are saved by Christ, they are, because of their being saved by Christ, they are to be obedient. And this also harks back to the Exodus, where they should remember that they were saved by the God who brought them out of Egypt, and that because they are saved by God and set apart for Him as a people, that they are to be holy. So this has echoes of Exodus. This has echoes of when they just received the law from God. So they are set apart as a people, and right now, even more so, as saved people, saved by Jesus Christ, which the Israelites formerly in the Exodus were also saved. They were also saved by Jesus Christ, if they were saved at all. But on this foundation, they are to be holy, and they are to seek to be holy. So that would be all for 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 to 16. I'll see you next time.